What's up guys, welcome back to the Bender Branding YouTube channel. In our last video we showed you how to set up artwork on our 12 color automatic press. Today we're going to set up some artwork on this 8 color manual press. Let's get started. Today's artwork is a 5 color full back. Our screens are taped and ready to go, so let's get them on the press. As always, because these are going on dark garments, I'm going to use an underlay to start our test print and line the rest of the artwork up to. So I'll be using the center line on my palette, the black center line on my palette, to line up with the center crosshairs of my registration marks, and this will ensure that my artwork is square. It's hard to see that crosshair and that crosshair perfectly on that line. With the underlay in place, I can grab a shirt and start our test print. Flood stroke, then a clear stroke, and we'll have our underlay. Here's our underlay. We do see a pinhole there. We're going to take that up, make sure that's not in our final print. We're going to flash this and line the rest of our colors up to it. Now, just like on the automatic press, we're going to add the rest of our screens. We're going to get them as close as we can before we start adding ink. Then we'll micro register, get them really dialed in, and we should finish up with a nice clean test print. That's dry, let's get to it. With all our ink in place, we add some squeegees and finish the test print. Now we're looking for any imperfections in our artwork. And right now, I see a little bit of dark between the line of the triangle and the white underneath. That means this screen has to go down this way. Now, a trick that we can do is press your hips on the screen and ever so slightly push it that way. This has to be done, but if I do this, it has to be done every time on every print. And exactly the same way. Another thing that I'm noticing is white underneath below the triangle here. Not so much down here, which means the pressure needs to stay on this side, or I can tilt the screen down just a hair. Wait. Tilt the screen down. Now it has to go back. Lock it back in place. These are our micro registration knobs. We unlock the knobs, the micros, with these. This will tilt the screen one way, this will tilt the screen the other way. This knob over here will track it left and right. We've got some other knobs here used for angling the screen up and down for our off contact, but we're just worried about registering to the underlay right now. Now, press yellow. That's exactly what it's supposed to look like. You see the crosshairs overlap almost perfectly. But more important, that triangle, there's no yellow outside of the white. All that white is covered up around the border. That's perfect registration. We'll flash that and move on to the next screen. Because this highlight depends on the red, I think I'm going to skip it, print the red first, and then see if the highlight lays inside like I want it to. But it should be perfectly aligned. We'll see. So we can't really see it on camera, but between the yellow and the red here, there's a tiny sliver of white. One way that we're gonna be able to fix that is by laying extra yellow down, which won't affect anything. It'll just, it'll actually help us because this needs to be bolder when the navy goes across. So we're gonna blow the yellow out just a little bit by laying too much ink, and the red, the navy, and the highlight will clean it all up. All right, so we're gonna take a step backwards, hit the highlight, because we don't wanna put white on top of red. We're gonna make sure that the red sits on top of the white really flush, but we're gonna hit that now. We've still kept a lot of detail in our palmetto tree, and our moon, so that looks pretty good. And remember, in final print, we'll be printing that red on top of white, which will actually make that tree look a lot more detailed. There'll be a crisp red line where any of that blowout is in our highlight. Now we're gonna print the navy and get the black. Should be good to go. Navy's off quite a bit. See that step down? All right, now pick the screen up. That's our edge. It should line flush with the red, but there is white in between. That means we have to pick the whole screen up. You can also see it here on our crosshairs. So that's really close. That's really close. I'm noticing some white and some spots that aren't showing on camera, but that's really close. And again, some of the spots is the fine points of the C, and like I mentioned before, we can clean that up by blowing out or giving excess yellow that will be covered by the darker navy. That'll clean up any of the white that you can see, which is very minimal, which I can see it right there on the outside of that C, but like I said, it's not noticeable on camera, so that's a really good, really tight registration. I'm gonna flash it, hit the last color, that paw print. Now that we've got everything registered, we can tape our crop mark and get ready for print. And that's it. That's setting up artwork on our manual screen print press. If you'd like to place an order for custom t-shirts, visit www.bendershirts.com or give us a call at 888-222-9542. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next video. Peace.